So Fire Locs 4. Friends, I'm coming to you with a very quick video. I just really want to jump on camera really quick just to talk about and give you a couple suggestions in starting your locks. Just 5 really quick things to consider before starting your locks. So friends, if you're one of those individuals that love to pretty much wear your hair in different styles, and when I mean different styles, not necessarily meaning different lock styles, because as you start your journey, you will realize that there's so much that you can do with your locks, and they're extremely versatile. But if you're one of those who like to do maybe wear your hair relaxed, or one day you want to wear your natural hair in a fro, you want to do your twist outs, or maybe just put extensions in your hair, maybe you want to get your hair done quite often, every 2 weeks or whatever, starting locks may not be for you at this moment. And the reason being, your locks are permanent. Once you get them in, you're going to want to kind of nourish those locks, and you're going to really want patience and watch them grow, and make sure that you're just focusing on just your locks, you know, making sure that they're all, making sure that you get the retwist when necessary, making sure that you're washing your hair, and just really just kind of going through that process. You're not going to want to manipulate your hair a whole lot by styling it too early. Though you can do protective styles, you're not going to want to put protective styles on top of your locks so soon. You're really just going to want to let it go through those phases. So you would just want to kind of give that a huge consideration before you just jump off into starting your locks. Another thing is, before you start your locks, you really want to do your research. I know if you've stumbled across my channel, you are probably in the process of researching locks, and you know, just looking at some of the YouTubers, as well as maybe you've seen neighbors or friends or family members who already have those locks. And chances are you see somebody and you say, well, damn, I really like her hair, his hair, whatever the case may be. And you're going to want to look at those locks and say, hey, do I want small locks? Do I want large locks? Do I want a head full of locks? Do I want a few locks? Do I want 8 locks? You know, do you want to be one of those that maintain your hair often by keeping it well maintained, or do you want to do semi-freeform, or do you want to do just straight up freeform? So whatever your choice is, you definitely just want to make sure that you do your research, because like I just said with number 1, you are going to want to make sure that you have made a decision to kind of go through all of the stages and the phases of your locks. So that's my tip for number 2. Also, the reason that this is extremely important is because your locks are going to take a lot of patience, and you definitely do not want to start your locks and further down the line you realize that your locks are too fat, or your locks are too skinny, you don't have enough. Because what happens is that you're going to find yourself not happy. You're going to find yourself unhappy with your locks, and chances are you're going to want to take them down, comb them out, and start over. So after you put all this time and patience in your locks, you definitely want to make sure that you see an example of a person's locks, or you know, you have an idea in your head that this is something that you want to, you know, whatever decision you make as far as the style and the size of locks, that's one that you can live with. And my tip number 3, friends, before you start your locks, you want to say, you know, is this something that I can deal with on a daily basis? Do I really have the time? Do I really have the patience? If you're impatient and you don't want to go through those phases, you know, especially that one phase that I hear so many people talk about, and they're saying, I want locks and I don't want to go through the ugly phase. I'm sorry. Locks just may not be for you. Though Starting locks, I think, is a beautiful thing. And me starting my locks has probably been one of the best hair decisions that I've ever made. But there are phases that you are going to go through, and it's going to take some time to get to those phases. You know, you're going to go through your starter phase, your baby phase, your mature phase. It's a lot. It really is a lot. And it's definitely not going to happen overnight. So that patience is so, so important. Friends, my tip number 4 in your locks, just depending on where you are in your career, you want to make sure that locks are acceptable to your lifestyle. If you're one who works maybe for a corporate environment, I know sometimes, even though we're in the age and the day that we are in, sometimes when you're working, your locks are really kind of frowned upon. I know when I first started my locks, I was already kind of settled in my career. I had already began to put myself in a position where during my career, I no longer had anything else to prove. So I honestly went in my locks, just when I started my locks rather, I was in that place where I'm set in my career and I'm pretty established and I have nothing else to prove. So when I came from out of my fro and went right into my natural, I definitely got all those little ugly stares. I had people in my corporate environment who were looking at me, and sometimes I even had a couple people who were courageous enough to ask me, what is that? What type of style is that? Or I like your braids, or is it permanent? You know, people are just going to have a whole lot of questions about them. I've even had people to ask me, would you take them down? Do you want to take them down? Not really sure why they were asking me that, but that is just something that, seriously, depending on the environment, people are just not used to. So you definitely want to be able to, you know, just take that in consideration, the environment that you're in. Are you in one of those companies that you have to wear your natural hair, or they say your natural hair? It's just so weird. I remember I was working in a place about 20 years ago, and African-American people, you could only wear one style. You could not wear braids, but now it's pretty much deemed as norm. You see people in my environment, like the company that I was working for, there was probably 8 African-Americans. We all had natural hair, but I really think I was the only one. Yeah, I was the only one with dreadlocks or locks for a long period of time. So that's my tip number 4. My last and final tip for trying to make a decision whether or not to start your locks or to just kind of wait it out is that this is something that you can be happy with. Your locks, like I said, it's going to take a lot of patience. It's definitely going to take a lot of research. You want to consider everything within your environment. Can you stand the rain? It's a lot. And I seriously think that you have to just kind of weigh in on all of those. You really have to weigh in on all of those decisions and just say, is this permanent? Is this something that I think I really like? Is this the way that I like my hair? Or if it's just a trend that I'm going through, because you do not want to invest your time. You do not want to invest your time in a style that you're not going to be happy with, or you're just doing it because other people are doing it. So with that being the case, when you're making your decision to actually start your locks, why are you doing it? You know, is it for you? Are you starting these locks for somebody else? Are you doing it because you saw somebody else with a style? And if that's the case, there are other alternatives than getting permanent locks. You can do faux locks. You can really try faux locks out. I've seen some faux locks that are amazing, and you really can't tell that they're not, you know, that they're not real. I've seen people who have done the Insta locks. I've seen people who have started those locks and then put the extensions in it. That's just another option, and I really don't find that there is anything wrong with it. I think it's a choice. You know, the choice is pretty much yours. But again, it's a permanent choice. Though I've also seen people who go in for years and years after starting their locks, getting their locks all long and healthy and whatever, and then they decide that they want to cut their locks off. So you really want to just decide, you know, is this something that I'm just infatuated with? Is it a style that I definitely can, you know, that I can live with, or that you can live with? Pretty much try that before you before you make a final and permanent decision, before you start investing in it. And if it's something that you just want to try, like I said, start with the faux locks. Go get yourself some faux locks installed and see if that's something that you can, you know, that you feel kind of fits you, and just test those out. You know, wear them to work. Leave them in for a couple months, or however, yeah, a couple months, and just see the feedback that you get, if that's something that's important to you, and then make your decision after that. But friends, I have had my locks now for 3.5 years. In October will be 4 years. And like I said, those are decisions that I definitely thought about and made prior to me getting my locks permanently installed. And just taking time. Oh my gosh, it took me so much time, and I definitely had to be extremely patient with my locks. I've seen them thick, I've seen them or I've had them at a length that I really couldn't do anything with. Now 3.5 years later, I'm very pleased. My hair is extremely healthy, and I take care of my hair, you know, by washing it, and I do still condition my hair. But you can see I have a lot of balance. I have a lot of movement in my hair, and I'm happy with that decision. However, I did my research. So if you find that these tips were helpful to you at all, please hit the like button. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, seriously, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? If you have any questions or any concerns whatsoever about what it might take for you to start your locks, go ahead and leave me a comment below and let's talk about it. Let me help you. I honestly do not mind. I can jump on here, we can do a video, and I can show you how to retwist your hair. I can show you the proper way of washing your hair, pretty much just whatever you want, so that the decision that you make, your permanent decision that you make, will be a good decision. Let me know if you have questions. Friends, I will talk with you soon. Bye for now.